Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this video from. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Aching, and in today's video, I am going to share with you how I clean and prepare my farm bought meat. And this is a video that I thought I would share with my viewers. This is how I prepare and clean my meat so that in the near future, when I want to prepare any type of dish with meat, my meat is ready. So, what I usually do is I love buying my meat from the farm. And originally from Kenya, it's something that kind of resonates with me. It's part of my culture. And in African cuisine, sometimes with the meat, there are some dishes that we eat the skin. We prepare the dish with the skin. And sometimes there are some dishes that we prepare the dish without the meat. So going to the farm, you're kind of able to kind of make that differentiation and buy either or that you want. In this video, I did have some of the meat that had skin, and usually I would buy the meat that has skin, and then I would remove and kind of separate them into half so that when I am ready to prepare a dish that needs the meat to have a skin, I can have it ready, and then vice versa with a dish that does not require the skin on the meat, I can have it ready. So if you have not watched my previous video that I showed how I cleanse my farm bought chicken, usually I would go to the farm, which is located about an hour away from where I live, and I usually make that trip, I would say every 6 weeks or once in a month, depending on how much how how I consume the ingredients that I buy from the farm. But I usually take that trip, and when I go, I try to buy as bulk ingredients as I can so that I do not have to go back and forth. And usually I just take my time and clean all of the meat. Everything that I bought from the farm, I have to clean it because they do not clean the produce as much as they clean it from the grocery store. Either or, it does not matter if you buy your ingredients from the farm or from the grocery store, you have to clean them regardless. But for me, for the farm, I need to clean those ingredients even more. So what I usually do, I just prepare lukewarm water in my sink. I use salt, I use vinegar, very important to use vinegar, and of course a lemon. And this solution is what I will soak the meat inside. And what I'm going to do also, I'm going to separate the meat that I do not want to have skin and the ones that I want to have skin. This is where I just do all that, because what I'm doing today, I'm not cooking the meat, I am just cleaning it. The way you're seeing it in that blue bag, that is how it was packaged when I made the order. So usually it does not get to my fridge or anywhere. I have to clean it first. It stays the way it was, and I have to clean it first and package it into ziplocks, and then it will be stored in my freezer or in my fridge. And also the meat, because it's in the farm, the meat comes in very big pieces. Usually what they do is they will prepare a whole cow and then they'll cut it into pieces depending on the order that you make. I usually make an order of some amount of pounds, and then I would request for bone-in meat with skin. I mean, that's why I love going to the farm, because you just specify it. If you have a dish and it's very specific, you just go there and make that specification and they cater for you. So usually this really takes time. From the time I get from the farm, I come home, I clean, I prepare the meat. I cut it into smaller pieces because I already have an idea of how I'm going to prepare the meat. So I cut it into smaller pieces or medium small pieces, and immediately I just dip them into the mixture, the water mixture that I have, because I'm going to clean all of it. So also part of African culture, this is very normal. We usually get our meat from the butcher, we cut it, we prepare it, we buy it with skin or without skin. Also the intestines are part of this video. This is a long video, so I'm not going to talk over the whole time, but I'm just giving you guys a summary of everything that I'm doing in this video. But usually I would order some part of the intestine, and I think here it's called chitlins, I'm not sure. But back in Africa, we do not waste meat, you know. Every meat, be it the food, the head, everything, we have a specific dish for every part of the cow, be it the goat, the lamb. We make something. There's a dish for every part of the livestock that we have prepared. So here it's a mixture of, this is beef meat, but it's a mixture of meat with bone in, and then a little bit of the intestine. I love the intestine, the way we prepare it back home. It's amazing, and it's one of my favorite Kenyan dish. So here I'm just showing you how I prepare, how I clean the meat. This is part of the process of preparing food. You have to prepare your food, you have to cleanse your food, and during this period I usually take my sweet time, because this sets me up for success for the near future. When I want to cook my meat, I do not have to run to the grocery store or go drive like an hour away to the farm. I already have a good amount of meat in the fridge, and I just use one portion at a time. So guys, I just wanted to share with you, this kind of makes me feel like I'm back at home. This is exactly what we do. So I love the farm, the meat from the farm. It has a better texture, or it reminds me of back home. So that is why I go through all this process. But I just wanted to show you guys the other part of it. In my YouTube video, I want to share my culture with you and teach you other things, you know, that you may or may not be aware of, or you might have a different meaning to it. Every culture is different, and I respect every culture, but this is just the African culture, the African way that I love and get to share with you guys. So let me know in the comments below if this is something that's familiar to you. Please do not forget to subscribe and click on the notification button. And for this video, it's just showing you how I cleanse and prepare the meat, and then at the end of the video I'm just going to store it in a ziplock and freeze or place them on the fridge depending on how soon I want to prepare some of the meat, and then I just go from there, making my life easy. So guys, please enjoy. Do not forget to subscribe, and to already my subscribed viewers, thank you so much. I truly appreciate your help, and have a blessed week. watching, and please do not forget to subscribe. Until next time, have a good one.